Did you know that some people run dressed as giant turkeys, even before eating their Thanksgiving turkey? Yes, there are races with tutus, bananas, dogs in costumes, and even running pumpkins. And the most curious part, thousands of Americans do this every single year. Why? Where did this idea come from, and what does it say about American culture? The last part of this story will surprise you. Get ready to discover an American tradition that's as strange as it is fun. We're going to explore the Turkey Trots, the funniest races of the year. You'll learn about their origin, the customs, and the most hilarious moments ever recorded. But in the middle of the comedy, there's something deeper, a message about community, health, and gratitude. So lace up your shoes or your costume, and join me in this race through history. How it all began, the origin of the Turkey Trots. We look at these races full of costumes and think, this must be something new, something from the internet, from the TikTok generation. But no, this tradition is over 120 years old. The first Turkey Trot, or turkey race, happened in 1896 in the city of Buffalo, New York. Yes, 1896. That was the same year the first modern Olympic Games were held in Greece. And while the world was starting to rediscover sports, a group of 6 runners gathered to run 8 kilometers before Thanksgiving lunch. But why? Actually, it was simple. They wanted to work up an appetite, challenge themselves, and celebrate the day in a different way. And of course, compete. There's always a bit of that. What no one imagined was that that moment would be the spark for a national tradition. Over the years, more cities copied the idea. Boston, Chicago, Dallas, Atlanta, Los Angeles. Today, there are more than 1,000 different turkey trots across the United States, happening on the same Thanksgiving morning. And the most curious thing, many people participate in costume. There are races with costume contests, races with babies in strollers, even dogs in costumes running along. Behind the fun, there's a powerful idea: celebrate life with health, humor, and solidarity. Many of these races raise food, clothing, and donations for families in need. In other words, while some run dressed as turkeys, others receive an actual turkey for dinner. And so, the tradition gained strength and heart. In the United States, Thanksgiving is one of the most important holidays of the year. It's a day of pause, of gratitude, of reuniting with family. But it's also a day that involves a lot of food. A lot. So for many people, running 5 or 8 kilometers in the morning became a way to prepare for the feast, both physically and spiritually. And there's more. The Turkey Trots aren't just races, they're community events. Imagine closed streets, people in costumes, entire families together, funny signs, music, kids running, grandmas walking, all of this before 10 a.m. Now, think, what other country does this? What other people manage to turn a morning run into a cultural and collective celebration? It's as if, for a few hours, the entire country is saying, life can be funny, let's laugh together, let's run together. And because of that, the Turkey Trot has become the most participatory race in the United States. Even people who don't run all year run on this day. And that brings us to the next point. Now think with me. In Brazil, we have Feijoada soccer and Carnival. So why did a costumed race become such a strong symbol in the United States? Comment below. Would you take part in a race like this? What costume would you wear? A turkey, a hot dog, a Christmas tree? I want to see your creativity in the comments. The funniest costumes and craziest moments. Now that you know how this tradition started, it's time to dive into what really makes the Turkey Trot the funniest race in the world. The costumes, the creativity, the madness. Let's start with the basics. Every year, thousands of Americans wake up early on Thanksgiving Day, and instead of putting on their running shoes and athletic gear, they dress up as turkeys, pilgrims, pumpkins, Christmas trees, dogs, grandmas, dinosaurs, slices of pizza, SpongeBob, and even entire families dressed as a Thanksgiving table, with plates, food, and napkins. And they run like that. In groups, laughing, dancing, filming tic-tacs, sometimes not even running, just walking, dancing, pushing strollers with babies. dressed as turkeys. This is the magic of the turkey trot. It's not about who's the fastest, it's about who's the funniest. In cities like Austin, Texas, or San Jose, California, it's common to see couples running tied together like a three-legged race. Dogs in tutus, people throwing artificial snow during the run, and even live marching bands playing as runners pass by. And what happens when 5,000 people gather in costume to run 5 kilometers? Exactly. Moments you won't believe unless you see them. There's the guy who dressed up as a roast turkey and tripped rolling down the hill like an actual dinner. The grandma who finished the race walking backwards to burn more calories. And the baby in a stroller who crossed the finish line before the dad and received the medal. You might be thinking, but doesn't all this get in the way of the race? Actually, no. Most turkey trots divide participants into two groups: the runners and the fun runners. So those who want to compete, go ahead, while the rest turn the street into a carnival of joy. It's like running a 5K parade, a mix of fitness, comedy, family, and holiday spirit. And this is so popular that many cities broadcast the races on local TV. Yes, it's like a small Olympics, but with inflatable turkeys and banana costumes. Can you imagine running 5 kilometers in the sun, dressed as a Christmas tree? Comment below. What's the funniest costume you've ever seen in a race, or which one would you like to wear? Would you dare run as a giant slice of pizza? Or would you go as a superhero family, dad as Batman, mum as Wonder Woman, kids as Spider-Man and Elsa? Leave your answer below. We're reading everything. Behind the fantasy, health, solidarity, and the true spirit of Thanksgiving. Amidst all the funny fantasy, you might think the turkey trot is just a big joke. But when you start looking closely, you realize it's much more than that. Yes, there's laughter. There's an inflatable turkey. There are people tripping over their own foam beaks. But there are also people running to remind themselves they're alive. There are people running for the first time after beating cancer. There are people walking for someone who's no longer here. The turkey trot has become a symbol. A symbol that, despite everything, there are still things to be thankful for. And that makes perfect sense. After all, we're talking about Thanksgiving Day, a day that, for Americans, isn't about gifts or fireworks. It's about stopping and giving thanks. And what's more powerful than starting this day with movement, with unity, with purpose? In many cities, the race is used as a way to raise funds, food, and clothing for families in need. Some organize partnerships with supermarkets, NGOs, churches, and schools. Others charge race entry in the form of food donations. In other words, while some run in costume, others eat because of it. And there's more. The race has also become a way to fight physical inactivity. In the US, Thanksgiving is often marked by food excess: stuffed turkey, mashed potatoes, gravy, apple pie, pumpkin cake, a lot of calories in a single meal. But when you start the day with a run, you get into a different rhythm. Your body moves, your heart beats stronger, and your mind opens. Many people join the turkey trot with this thought: if I start my day with health, I'll end it with gratitude. And that's the power of tradition. It's not just about running. It's about starting the day with purpose. It's about telling yourself and the world that it's still worth getting out of bed, even if it's cold, even if it's hard. It's worth living. It's worth giving thanks. And that's what turns this race into the funniest and also most touching tradition in the United States. That's why people of all ages take part: young people, seniors, wheelchair users, pets, professional athletes, and total beginners. Entire families make it an annual ritual. It's the kind of event that unites instead of divides. In today's world, where so many things pull us apart, a race where everyone wears ridiculous costumes to laugh together and help someone is a powerful reminder that we can still be a community, and in the end, that might be the best way to give thanks. Now tell me in the comments, have you ever taken part in an event like this, with your family, with friends? Something that seemed like a joke, but ended up marking your life. Tell us your story. It might inspire someone else too. In the end, the turkey trot is much more than a race with funny costumes. It's a reminder that even in such a rushed world, it's still worth pausing to give thanks. It's worth moving, laughing, uniting, and even dressing up. It teaches us that life is better when we take seriously the things that truly matter: health, community, joy, gratitude. And you know what? Maybe we should all have a turkey trot in our lives, even if just symbolic. Even without a costume, something that makes us get up, laugh, and remember. Today is a good day to give thanks. And if you enjoyed this story and want to keep exploring curious and inspiring traditions from around the world, click the video that's appearing on your screen right now. Like this video, subscribe to the channel, hit the bell, and share it with that friend who'd be up for running in costume with you. Leave your comment below. I read them all. See you in the next video, and in the next race, whether real or symbolic.